All right, all right. Welcome back, everybody. And you already know the deal. Okay, it is our post-draft episode. This is Total Speculation, that one NFL show on that one NFL YouTube channel. I'm that one NFL guy. With me, you already know, we got Knipe, our very own McLovin. One word, no spaces. And man, what a draft we just had. Okay, 3 long days of nothing but draft talk, and it finally passes. It's always a little disappointing after it's over, to be honest with you, because then I know we ain't got shit to talk about till like training camp. But let's get into it, man. It was pretty exciting draft overall. I will say I feel like the top 10, obviously the picks went kind of as expected, but the trades weren't really like all there. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't all those fireworks at 4 and 5 like I was hoping for. Um, but it still got interesting, man. And let's start it off with the quarterbacks, Knipe. Your guy Penix. All right, we're not even gonna talk about the first three because we already know that was exactly as expected. But Penix, man, gets drafted at 8 by the Falcons. Okay. Um, First of all, let me get your thoughts. Was that a good move by the Falcons? Like what with Kirk Cousins there? Obviously, and just to give you full context, Kirk Cousins' agent came out and was like, yeah, we were not expecting this. Okay. So it didn't seem like they were really the happiest about it. They weren't bluntly like, fuck these guys, but they were kind of like, bro, fuck these guys. So give me your thoughts on Penix at 8?
No, dude, I think that was hella smart. Okay, because like, all right, if you're the GM, right, and you know that you have Kirk Cousins and you have a decent, like, they have a good offense now, and I feel like their defense is at least going to be respectable. They're probably not going to be at 8 again while Kirk Cousins is there. You know what I mean? Like, they're probably not going to have that high of a pick again while he's there. They'll probably be in the teens or something. So I mean, I think it makes sense to get a quarterback now that you like, and I like Penix too. I mean, I said it on the show, like I like Penix, like he's a good quarterback in my opinion, and especially like in this situation where he's given room and time to grow. I think that's huge, man. I feel like he is like he can be like that Jordan Love type who, you know what I mean? Like he impresses us, year one. I mean, obviously Jordan Love didn't start off so hot, but he looked good at the end. He looks like an NFL quarterback, and I feel like that's what Penix is going to do, and like kind of the same path he's going to follow. And I loved it, man. I thought it was a great pick. People were overreacting, of course, because we got to do that. I think it was a great pick. Like GM wise, like NFL, like building a team wise, that was smart in my opinion. So I mean, and like I'm sorry, but I kind of said it on this show. I was like, dude, like you got another Michael Vick. Like I mean, you have another lefty black dude freaking rolling out there, and he can run too. I think Penix is faster than people think. So I mean, like, dude, good for him, man. Like I'm happy for him. I think that's really cool that he got drafted number 8. So I think he deserved it, and I think that's what should have happened. So yeah.
I think it's definitely a good situation, but the people that are saying it was stupid. All right, this is their argument. Okay, you just gave Kirk Cousins a 4-year, $180 million contract. He's probably playing at least 3 of those years. So I mean, maybe even 4 if he's balling. But probably with the amount of money that's in there, probably at least 3 of those years. And you got Penix sitting behind him, so he's basically supposed to be the backup for 3 years. Is that the plan? Because he's already 24. So that means he's starting. He's 28 years old. His first season as a starting quarterback. Now, I'm not saying either way. I mean, and I think another argument for it is like, are you all in on Kirk Cousins? Because if you are all in on Kirk Cousins, don't you want to do everything you can to try to win right now? Maybe that person that you could have got at 8 could have been that next guy that you needed to get you over the hump. No?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't think so. Who are they going to take right there? I mean, yeah, they could have got Odunze or whatever, but like, I mean, I don't think they're Odunze away from being freaking serious contenders in the NFC. Dog. I know the NFC is not stacked or anything, but like, they come on, like, nah, like let's not bullshit here. Like, I mean, yeah, let's not get crazy. They're not just a good wide receiver away from being contenders for a title. Like they would be a good wide receiver away from playoffs, sure, but not from a title. Like, nah, dude, you ain't gonna compete with the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Niners with just adding a good wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like I don't foresee that. So I like the pick. Like I said,
Hey, they could have got a corner. Okay, they could have got a corner. Could have got the top defensive player in the draft because one didn't go till 14. Or
Well,
or they could have traded back for a haul too,
well,
because
dude,
there was reports that the Saints and I think it was somebody else, or the Raiders, both tried to trade up into the top 10 to get Penix.
yeah, well, maybe people think maybe the coaches think like I do, and they like the way his game looks, and they think that he's gonna be a good football player. So I mean, like you don't pass on guys you like, and also you literally just saw Kirk Cousins tear his Achilles. Like, okay, so we're saying that Kirk Cousins is in a perfect health the next 4 years. Like just because the contract says so does not mean his body says so. And I think that Penix will get a chance to play over the next 2 years, probably more than we expect, because Kirk Cousins could get injured. He could get concussed one week. Penix, comes up and he does halfway. He probably does remotely bad his first outing. I mean, it's a rookie. That's hard being a rookie in the NFL. And we'll probably do like a questionable job is his concussion week that Cousins gets. But I don't know, man. I like the pick. I like the player. I like the kid. I think he's a good pick.
I like Penix too. And it's funny you say that because the Falcons did say he was number 2 on their board as well for the QBs. I see the argument for both ways. I mean, I'm not going to argue against it after watching Jordan Love light up the NFL basically his first year starting after sitting 3 years, right? He was year 4 when he first started, I believe. Which that does seem like a long ass time to have somebody sitting behind somebody, but I mean, history's kind of shown you that has worked out pretty well recently. I don't want to say like Patrick Mahomes, but I mean, he also did sit a year. Like that used to be the standard too. I was thinking about that the other day. It's like that in the NFL, that used to be what happened almost always. Like when a first round quarterback got drafted, they normally sat the first year and then it was inserted as the start of the second year. So I don't know if maybe it's just time to go back to that model. But we're going to see what happens with Penix. It's going to be interesting watching the Falcons. Obviously, but hey, actually, you know what? Let me pull the brakes, though. Also, I would be mistaken if I didn't at least mention Trey Lance also obviously got to sit for that year. And then things just really my man just never got on the field. So let's hope that doesn't happen with Penix. But I can't bring up all these good times and just look over that one and not say anything about it.
Yeah, you can. Yes, you can. You could have looked over it. You could have just kept talking about some other bullshit. Said you want to fuck around.
No, but it was a crazy QB draft. I mean, I can't remember if we talked about it on here or not when I said when I thought 5 QBs would go in within the first 15 picks. Ended up being 6 QBs because even Bo Nix gets drafted to the Broncos at 12, obviously, and only one trade into the top 10, which was literally the Vikings trading up one spot with the Jets to go get JJ McCarthy, which I thought was interesting. I also thought it was interesting. The Giants just totally passed on a QB. They were just like, screw it, fuck it. We're taking Everson. Okay. What were your thoughts on all the QB drama?
I mean, it kind of played out the way I think the NFL didn't overreact to the media because I feel like the trade scenarios are hyped up a lot because of QB speculation. But let's be honest. I mean, like those guys didn't deserve to be the first 5 picks in the NFL draft. Like they weren't the 5 best players by any stretch. So that's a GM. Those are GMs just doing like, hey, who's the best guy who we think is gonna be the best in the NFL on my board right now? Do we need that position? Yes, let's do it. You know what I mean? Like they don't overreact. They don't let the media play them. Like they get paid those the money for a reason. So I mean, I'm not surprised they kept a level head. And like JJ McCarthy, he should honestly to me he shouldn't have even gone top 10. And I mean he almost didn't. It was the trade up that made him go in the 10th spot. So I mean. Yeah, I think it played out exactly. I'm not exactly, but similar to what I thought would happen. Just because GMs don't usually quite as overreact as much as the public does, because we like fireworks and bang boom. You know what I mean? Like we want to see some change and happen right now. But yeah, no, it's.
What's also interesting about that Vikings trade up to 10 is did you hear Sean Payton's after draft press conference?
I don't know if it was. I didn't hear it, but I saw a funny quote. Go ahead and tell me if what I heard was true.
It was like him basically flexing on the fact that, well, I mean, whether it was true or not, who knows? But on the fact that they were faking like they were trying to trade with the Jets to get the Vikings to trade with the Jets, and it was just like, I don't know, basically saying like they were faking like they were going to trade in to get other teams to run up the value and get other teams to trade in there. But Bo Nix was their guy the whole time.
Yeah.
that was like what he basically said, because he was like, "Oh yeah, Bo, dude, we had Bo third. Bo was third on the board, man. We knew we weren't getting Caleb, we knew we weren't getting Jaden, okay, but Bo, the numbers.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think they got a fun potential tight end in the future if they want to convert him.
They cannot play tight end.
Yeah, I'm just messing around, but I mean, I just think that was funny that yeah, you want to brag about getting Bo Nix. Like, why don't you just relax there, bud? Like, I wouldn't put all your eggs in that basket. Like, I mean, Russell Wilson was playing halfway decent. Like, I feel like if Bo Nix played, roughly what Russell Wilson did, like, he would be praised. And you know what I mean? Like, if he had, I think Russell had like 23-7 or something was like his touchdown interception ratio at one point, which is, I mean, like, if you told me Bo Nix did that, I'd be like, damn, all right, like, shit, that's pretty good. Like, but I don't know. This the whole situation over there was just fucked, man.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how Bo Nix turns out in Denver, because I really feel like that's going to be a careful what you wish for type of situation. You were so quick to boot Russell Wilson out of there, and this might not play out exactly how you think. Now, I will say, they say like Bo Nix, because of the style that he played like at Oregon, which was basically getting the ball out really quick, short passes that, with some yak from the receivers. They're saying that could be similar style to like Drew Brees, since he wasn't really like a deep ball thrower. But I don't see it. I mean, not all these quarterbacks can succeed. 6 of them got taken in the top like 12 picks. Like, so how many of these guys are going to work out? I'm going to guess more than likely 2. I'm going to say more than likely 2. But even out of like a great draft class, it'll be like 4. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and that's rare. Like, that's like the Tom or the Peyton Manning, or not Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Philip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, those style of classes. But most classes are like Trevor Lawrence's class, where it's like, hey, Trevor's the only guy fucking left. All these other guys are backups, traded, just whatever. Zach Wilson, which we'll get to in a minute after his trade, I mean, they basically gave him away for a bag of freaking chips. That was a 2nd overall pick. So same with obviously Mac Jones. So we'll see, man. I mean, in 3 years from now, one of these guys will be traded to be a backup somewhere else. That is just the reality of the NFL. And then, so what's funny also to me a little bit, it's not that crazy, but it is a little funny, is the Spencer Rattler. I'm not sure how much you know about Spencer Rattler, but I've learned a little bit more about him through this draft process. And obviously he's a transfer. Caleb Williams took his job. He had to just basically leave so he could get another job. He was kind of expected to go in like the 2nd, 3rd round. Doesn't go till like I believe it was the 5th round, maybe the 4th round. I'll look it up here just a second. But falls really far. But he was actually, with the number one thing that was reported with him. He was drafted in the 5th round to the Saints. That was the next quarterback after all those first rounders. You went 4 rounds without a quarterback, because we just soaked this in so much. Anybody that's possibly draftable, we're getting them in the 1st round now if we need a quarterback. So we just soaked all of them up there. Spencer Rattler goes to the 5th. Number one thing that was reported is that he was on this like Netflix show for like top recruit high school quarterbacks. And he just like painted a really bad look. And there's like this clip going around of him like in practice, and they're like playing like points against the defense. And he is just like trashing the backup quarterback. And the receiver's like, "Oh, fucking suck. That's why we're losing." And they said like that's like the number one reason that he dropped as far as he did. And I'm just like, damn, bro, that is unfortunate. You should have not done that documentary, man. I didn't watch all of it. I just saw that clip, but I just thought it was hilarious that you could have something from that far back follow you to the NFL like that.
Yeah, I feel bad for him, because like I said, I think he could end up being better than, I think he's been better than McCarthy, Nix, and yeah, then like I think he's gonna be decent. I think he'll have a chance too.
I don't think he'll even start.
I bet you he does, bro. I mean, like, not saying right away by any means. I'm saying like if Carr's like, if the Saints are 4-8, I could see Spencer Rattler getting a turn.
Maybe. I've seen enough Spencer Rattler. I don't think he's going to be an NFL guy personally. But that's really all I have for the quarterbacks. It's really, it worked out in the Jaguars' favor. Anybody that doesn't need a quarterback, hey, we're rooting for y'all to just draft them up, soak them up, baby, before our picks, because that is pushing people down the board. Let's just stay with the top 10 for a second here. I will say that I was a little surprised that the Cardinals and the Chargers did not trade at all. I kind of thought they'd go back a little bit. I guess if the Giants weren't willing to pull the trigger on JJ McCarthy, I guess they weren't interested in him. So I guess that kind of ruins the idea of only moving down a little bit, because then you really got to push to the Vikings before you can really move. So I guess that probably also led into it. And then also the Chargers, we talked about this a little bit. They ended up going with Joe Alt instead of a receiver. Obviously, with Marvin Harrison Jr. off the board, maybe it would have changed some things if he stayed on the board. But what are your thoughts there? Do you think that was the right move for them?
Oh, man. Their wide receiver core's real bad, dude.
Hey, they did get a receiver.
Yeah, but I mean, you had the chance to get Neighbors, dog. You had a chance to get an alpha type of dude, or Odunze. I think Odunze profiles more as an alpha because of his size. But I mean, the whole offensive lineman as a weapon too. It's okay, yeah, says Greg Roman through. You know what I mean? That wasn't Harbaugh talking. That was Roman talking. I mean, don't get me wrong. Obviously, you want to start in the trenches. I get it. It's almost never a bad idea to go into your lines as a first investment. I get that. But when you got Quentin Johnson as your freaking potential number 2, dude, if I'm the quarterback,
he's really the number 1. Who are you putting over him? Palmer?
Yeah, dude, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Palmer actually he's not he's not special at all either. You know what I mean? He had He has had a few good games here and there, but he's pretty much just a guy. You need an alpha in that room, dude. And Herbert ain't got nobody to throw to right now. I feel bad for him.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm not going to knock them too much. Honestly, I love the big uglies. The only thing I will say is most people didn't have them taking Joe Alt, because Joe Alt is a true left tackle, and they already have a true left tackle. Slater. He's already a true left tackle for them. They really needed more of a right tackle. So I'm assuming Joe Alt's going to move over to right tackle for them, since Slater's already been established there. But a lot of people had them taking Bama's tackle, since he was a right tackle by trait. So we'll see if that brings them any struggles there. But as long as Joe Alt works out and he's a long-term option for you, and you have both of your tackles, basically 2 top 5 tackles, protecting both ends, I think that I'm okay with it if I'm a Chargers fan, because look, they still got Ladd McConkey in the second. And listen, this is also where I can give Harbaugh some credit, okay? Because look, he got real responsible. All right, we've been talking about it for the last couple episodes, that we thought 100% this man is getting Blake Corum, and we thought this man is getting Blake Corum in the second. But he said, you know what? I got Gus the Bus Edwards, and I got J.K. Dobbins for the first 4 games till he gets hurt. So you know what? Obviously, I need to pass on a running back for a receiver. And he did that. And so because he did that, I know obviously there was a run on receiver, so there wasn't as much left there. That's not his fault, okay? Yes, guys, obviously he probably would prefer to have picked up Keon Coleman than Ladd McConkey. But Ladd McConkey, hey, buddy, that could be a solid spot for you in the slot. So that's no wide receiver number 3. At least you got somebody there. I'm okay with what the Chargers did there. I do think that that's going to be up for controversy. And it reminds me, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it reminds me of when the Bengals had, I believe it was I think it was pick number 5 as well. And everybody was kind of debating whether they should take Jamar Chase, who obviously was Joe Burrow's teammate, or Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell was coming out, and they were debating who they should take between them. And at the time, I said they should take Sewell because their offensive line was so bad. But it worked out. Jamar Chase worked out. Now, looking back on it, it's probably best that they went with Chase. But But just like either way, even if they picked Sewell, it would have worked out, would have been fine, And that's kind of what I think this situation is. Like, if you would have picked Neighbors or Odunze, that would have worked out really well. But also picking Joe Alt, I think that can work out as well. So that was just a tough decision right there. I felt like it was worth mentioning and talking about. I think the Giants made the responsible move here, getting Malik Neighbors. To be honest with you. Obviously, they looked like they had a lot of interest in JJ McCarthy. They went out to dinner with him. They were whining and dining with him. But ultimately, they said, you know what? This team sucks. It's not just the quarterback. This whole team stinks. And we need to get the best player available. And I think that they did that. That's just my opinion. I think that at that spot, taking Malik Neighbors, I think it makes a lot more sense than grabbing a quarterback. So I'm not going to knock them there. Now, I will say I was real pissed off. All right. I was real pissed off that the Jags were unable to trade into the top 10 and get Rome Odunze. There was a lot of talk that they were going to do that, and they didn't. Very, very upsetting. But Bears end up getting Rome Odunze to pair up with Caleb Williams. I think that's nice. That's a nice duo. It's fucking annoying, but it's nice. Jets make a great move. I think the Jets, that was real smart of them, okay, because they get to trade back. Obviously, they're taking the third tackle off of the board, but that's not necessarily like you're not getting the best player available. Like those three tackles could be better than the next available. I don't know. I mean, passing on Brock Bowers is tough, but with how their season basically ended in 4 snaps with Aaron Rodgers getting hurt, I think it's appropriate to overload the offensive line. Yes, they got 2 tackles already. Yes, they have a first-round guard in Elijah Vera Tucker. Okay, but it doesn't matter because you need more. You're always going to have another injury, and after what happened last year, it just feels appropriate. They have 2 good receivers in Mike Williams and Garrett Wilson. So I think that their decision to just move back one and take a tackle makes a lot of sense. The Raiders get Brock Bowers at 13. This is a freaking steal of a deal. But I will say with the Raiders, they obviously just drafted Meyer last year. I don't know. It's tough, but I don't blame him for taking Brock Bowers. I mean, that's a good value at 13 right there.
Yeah, I think I remember saying in the episode before, it was like, if he's not going to go outside the top 15, like someone's going to draft. He's a top 15 talent, so he needs to go in that range. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that he went there because, I mean, who else were they going to draft a QB, And at that point, it's like he was picking out trash.
Everybody was gone. I mean, 6 quarterbacks are off the board. Jesus, what are you going to do?
Yeah, so you're picking through trash if you do that. So, yeah, take the best player available. And, I mean, like tight ends, like even he kind of reminds me of like a Dalton Kincaid type. Just a great receiving threat, So I mean,
he actually is a kind of an inline guy. He's a blocker. He can do his thing on the inline.
Okay. Well, yeah.
He's like Hawkinson, I would say.
Having him and Meyer is awesome. I think Meyer's awesome too. I think he's underrated, but he was also a rookie, and trying to just get his big games when he could. But he's got some hands, like he's got some moves. Like that dude's not bad at all. I think having them both out there, like as a 2 tight end set, oh man, like you can do a lot of play action off that.
Yeah, Meyer didn't have a big role last year, obviously, but it's tough when you're starting quarterback's Aiden O'Connell, and Aiden O'Connell might be their starting quarterback again this year. Who knows? It'll be him or Minshew, right? As of right now, is what it's looking like. I don't think the Raiders even actually. No, I'm kind of curious. Did they? I want to see if they picked up any quarterback. Nope, no quarterback. So, yep, definitely going to be one of those 2. They also got. I felt like they got good value in the second round too. They got Jackson Powers Johnson, who was kind of like at one point was unanimously the best interior offensive lineman. There was one guy that went before him actually that kind of climbed up boards late. I'm trying to see if I can find him. Troy Fatanu, or no, they have him listed as a guard. He's supposed to be a tackle too. Oh well, it doesn't really matter. But I just think that was really good value for where they got him in the second round, like middle of the second round too. It wasn't even like that late. So or that early. So I just think the Raiders did pretty good for their first drop with Tom Pelissero, or not Tom Pelissero. Jesus, the guy from the fucking Chargers, whatever his name is, Tom something. You know who I'm talking about. Tom Telesco. There we go. Tom Telesco. Yeah, man. Do you got any other thoughts for round one? We're kind of sliding later into these picks here. I'm not going to go over every single one of them.
No, yeah, you're fine. I just, I mean, you had your butthurt moment about being a Jags fan, so I'm gonna say I'm a little upset that I have to deal with Jared Verse and motherfucking Marvin Harrison now because those are the first two picks by the Rams and Cardinals. Not that it makes me like terrified of that team, but like fuck, man, those are good. Those are good players in my division against me now. I'm like shit. I never like to see that. Like, don't get better, damn it, and fucking pick someone shitty, bro. Make a dumb pick. But they, of course, picked the two best players available at the time, and they're both really damn good at football.
Rams also traded up and got Braden Fisk in the second round, his Florida State teammate. So that's going to be really interesting to see because they basically got a combo from FSU there. And yeah, I am kind of complaining about the Jags, but I will say the first round pick, I mean, I'm okay with Brian Thomas. I mean, honestly, I think it was a good value for where they got him. They were obviously able to trade back and get an additional third, fourth, and fifth. The fifth this year, and then the third and the fourth for next year. But they got him at 23. I will say I was kind of surprised that they didn't stick and pick there. And the Vikings being able to get their quarterback and also trade up and get Dallas Turner, just really surprising there. I mean, they must have had to give up a lot. I'd have to relook at everything that they did because I know they traded with Houston too to get back into that first round early before the draft even happened. But overall, man, the Jags draft, I did think it was I don't know. I mean, who knows? I don't like to overjudge when they first pick people, but they got Mason Smith from LSU with the second round pick, and this guy's kind of struggled in college. He wasn't really like the best. He was recovering from injury, so that is kind of like the excuse for it, if you will. We'll see, man. I mean, it's somebody that we're basically drafting off potential in the second round. We also got his teammate, the other defensive tackle, I believe in the fourth round. Let me look here. Fourth round. Yeah. No, that was, Jordan Jefferson, his teammate also from LSU. So added two defensive tackles. We got a corner from Florida State, and we really picked early where all these guys were projected. But I do like the corner from Florida State. He was basically a true nickelback. It is just one breakout season, so that's kind of why he's a third round pick. He was actually projected to be a fourth round pick. But they think that he's going to be able to compete for that nickel spot right away. So I don't think that was a terrible pick. But I just think the one pick that really just bothers me, and it's a fifth round pick, but it's going to sound ridiculous, but it kind of ruins your whole draft for me because it just makes me think who is picking these picks? Okay, because the Jags take a running back in the fifth round. Let me pull him up here from Texas. But that's fine. Okay, whatever. We're gonna take a fifth round running back. Honestly, we kind of overdraft running backs, but whatever. It's not that big of a deal. Except this guy, Keelan Robinson. All right, my man had less than 200 total scrimmage yards last year. Okay, less than 200, and the year before that, he had less than 150. And so my man is just a true kick returner. That's what they drafted him. A true kick returner that you're drafting in the fifth round. Okay. And this is the thing. We just signed Devin Duvernay. He's the best special teams returner in the league. And I understand that there have been a little bit of rule changes. Okay. I know that on the kickoff now you have to have two returners back there, but you're telling me that we need to be that invested in our kick returners? Bro, just throw a dart at an offensive lineman or something. Jesus, we're just going to draft a kick returner? Is this a fucking joke? I don't get it. I don't get it. And the thing is, it's not like he's lighting up these kick returns. His average yard per return was 26, which is decent. He had one kick return touchdown, one punt return touchdown in 2 years. So I'm it's not like my man is Devin Hester out here and he's dropping 6 touchdowns on spec. If we were getting something like that, I'd be okay. I mean, I guess we're getting Devin Hester. Whatever. I'm not going to complain about that. But my man is just a decent returner. It's not even on some he is special. It's no, he's okay. He's okay at this. And you just drafted him in the 5th round. So just didn't understand that at all. But overall, I guess I'm going to give the Jags just a straight up B. I'm going to give them a straight up B because I don't like to just give people Fs. Most people don't like giving out Fs because you end up looking stupid later. Like the Chiefs got a C- when they drafted Patrick Mahomes because Mahomes was a reach. So which, by the way, Sean Payton said that he was going to draft Mahomes like when he had like the 13th pick or something. So it just makes people look stupid sometimes. Really does. But excuse me, I just needed a little water there. Yeah, I think let me see. Is there anything else that I wanted to touch on with the draft? I'm kind of getting lost in the
We're just gonna hang out for a minute, guys.
Yeah, we're just chilling. We're just chilling.
Give me
yeah. Last thing for the draft that was just very shocking. The Cowboys didn't even draft a running back, man. I mean, that is just nuts. Obviously, they're basically I don't know if it's actually official yet, but they are getting Ezekiel Elliott back. That's basically the gist. They're getting Zeke. Zeke is back with the Dallas Cowboys. But regardless of that, I'm pulling up the Cowboys depth chart right now. Dude, they needed a running back. Like, I don't really understand how Rico Dowdle right now is sitting as the starter. So I guess no, they haven't actually signed Zeke. Deuce Vaughn, Royce Freeman, Malik Davis. Those are your running backs right now. So in my opinion, that is like desperate need of a running back. That is like we definitely are getting one second round, I would think, like immediately. Like we need somebody that can come in here and just be a starter. And they just pass up on that opportunity. And I just found that really interesting because that's just very un-Cowboys like, in my opinion. And I think that's a little too much faith in Zeke, if you're asking me personally.
A lot of faith in Zeke. I mean, I know he had a few good games with the Patriots last year, but dude, like, let's all be real too. Like, he looks like he's carrying extra weight back there now. Like,
he looks like he's old.
No
doubt about it. He looks like a guy that is like if you like he's on Frank Gore time. Like it's time to make him the backup. Okay, he's a guy that you can quote unquote trust. He's a guy that can help others, but to just want him to just be the workhorse, that should be behind him now. But we'll see. There's still time. There's still guys out there, so maybe they'll go and sign somebody else. But they didn't draft one tonight, and I'm telling you right now, that is going to be an issue. Okay. All right, but that's enough for the draft. That's really all I got. It's going to be a boring few months till we get to the actual training camp. There'll be little mini camps here and there, stupid news coming out. We're going to talk about it, but there were still some signings and some trades over the last week. All right. We touched on it a little bit. Zach Wilson gets traded to the Broncos for a pick swap, actually, a 6th round. They give up a 6th, they get back a 7th. It is what it is. All right. Obviously, the Broncos are basically doing the Jets a freaking favor here, taking them off their hands. But let me ask you tonight, with how the quarterback situation is set up in Denver, they got now Zach Wilson, they've got now Bo Nix, and they've got now they've already had Jared Stidham. So I don't even know if we for sure know who's going to start. Do you think Bo Nix is going to definitely be the day one starter, or you think Zach or Jared got a chance at taking it?
So I think that I think Sean Payton will probably say it's an open competition type of deal, but I think he's going to want to favor Jared Stidham just for the week 1, and because I guess he's fucked up the least of the two that are there that are technically veterans. And because he's had a few good games here and there. I mean, I saw him have a great game against the Niners when he was on the Raiders, man. Like, he went toe to toe with us.
I remember that.
Yeah, like, that was impressive. And I mean, at least he's shown that, on tape, and he's shown he can do it in a real situation. So I think he's going to get the week 1 nod almost no matter what. Like, unless Bo Nix just like blows his socks off in preseason and all, like, everything leading up to the season, whatever. I think that it's almost for sure going to be Stidham, at least for week 1. I think it'll be one of those, like, at the most, Stidham will get 2 whole weeks if they win. If they go 1-1, he'll get week 3. If they go 0-2, it's Bo Nix time. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel about it. I mean, like, it's going to be a quick leash for Stidham.
Yeah. I think they got a chance. But honestly, I I kind of feel like Bo Nix is going to get handed this job. I agree with you. I think they'll say it's a competition, but I think at the end of the day, they're just going to kind of hand it to him. But hey, you won it. Good job. You're ready. Yeah, get out there, and it's going to go terrible. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if he plays really bad in preseason and shit. I think Sean Payton is smart enough to not play him and play somebody else. But I also think that the way the game is going to be called, he's going to be doing he's going to be a real check down Charlie kind of guy, little curls, little slants, little crossing routes, nothing deep really. And I think that will like kind of shield him for the first starting of his NFL career. And that'll get him out there early, and then it'll go downhill from there. But we'll see. It's too early. I really shouldn't say that. It's kind of messed up. Just count a guy out before he even gets on the field. But I can't help it. That's just who I am. I don't think it's going to work, and that's just what it is. Broncos also traded with the Jets for John Franklin Myers as well. Completely separate trade like a week later. Kind of made me wonder if maybe they were like, listen, dude, I just want you to take Zach, okay, and then we'll give you this guy in a week, just so it doesn't look like we're just giving him away as part of the deal. We want him to be his own trade. That's what I kind of felt like, but I could be wrong there. All right, Jets trade him for a 6th-round pick. This guy that they paid like 2 years ago, not like top defensive end money, but pretty good money. He's really more of a run stuffer, set the edge kind of guy versus like a sack dude. But solid player that the Broncos pick up. Definitely going to be in that rotation for them. Probably he'll be a starter. But I'd have to actually like look at the depth chart to try to analyze that, which I did not. So apologies there. But he's definitely going to be getting a lot of playing time over there. And it's just interesting how guys that can immediately make an impact go for like draft picks that most likely will not make an impact at all. But whatever. John Franklin Jr. to the Broncos as well. And then a couple other things here. Trey Hendrickson actually requested a trade from the Bengals because he wanted more money, and the Bengals aren't giving him more money, and he's not happy about it. And he's actually threatening to retire. So we'll see. We'll see how that standoff goes. You're laughing, but he did. He was like, "Hey, I might retire because I don't have enough guaranteed money." So we'll see what happens there. This is the second player that they have requesting a trade. T. Higgins obviously being the first one. And both times the Bengals have basically said, yeah, we don't fucking care. We do not fucking care. You're playing this season, and that's just what it is. That's pretty much what they've come out and said. Can I have your thoughts on the Bengals' approach to just not giving a fuck what anybody wants except them?
Dude, I love it. But I also I've heard that they don't have like the most, I guess their owner's not like the wealthiest dude. So I don't know. Now, I know everyone has like a salary cap. You still have to be able to pay your bills. And it sounds like he might be a little short on the cash flow. So I heard that, they're lucky Joe Burrow got paid, and the rest is just kind of like, well, you want to hang out with this guy or not? Like, because fucking leave me alone about my money. That's what it feels like. So that was great.
Yeah, no, he's not as rich as the other owners. But I love the approach to just say, no, yeah. I don't give a shit. We're going for a Super Bowl, and I don't really care what you want. So whatever, pal. We also got some signings here. Okay. Amon-Ra St. Brown, the highest paid receiver in the NFL, 4 years, $120 million, $77 million guaranteed. Yeah, my man got paid tonight. Was he worth it to being the highest paid?
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Have you seen that guy play football? He's quick. He's he's awesome, man. I like Amon-Ra. I like watching him play. He gets open so much.
I agree.
His routes are so nice, dude. Like when you watch his, you're like, damn, dude, this guy move. He reminds me of like just that little guy like Antonio Brown. Like when he was undersized, like just beast moding like everybody. Like how does a guy like that get open over these guys that are bigger than him and like technically, honestly, faster than him? It's like he just has better footwork. He has better instincts, and he has a better feel for the field. So I think Amon-Ra was a great pay. I mean, obviously you should pay a guy like that. That should go without saying.
Dude, how does a guy like that go in like the 4th round?
I know, right? Like,
makes no sense.
I know.
How did this guy get overlooked like that? Just crazy.
Yeah.
I'm with you 100%. He deserves every penny This dude is a complete baller. Him and Goff. I can't wait to see how much money Goff gets because people are going to be shocked, man. Like people still think of Goff like he's that guy in LA that got traded away. He's not. My man has matured. Like I was telling somebody when we were at the draft party at somebody's house for the draft, like because they were telling me they think he get like 35 million a year for Goff, and I was like, buddy, you are out of your mind. Goff is getting $50 million a year. Like I would love it if Trevor Lawrence was playing at Goff's level right now. Goff is a top 10 quarterback. My man is balling. Like I feel like there's no denying that right now. And I don't even think it's up for debate. Like if I was the Lions, I'm paying them $50 million a year and not even thinking twice about it. Easy money. Penei Sewell for the Lions as well, getting paid 4-year, $112 million, $85 million guaranteed. So the Detroit Lions are handing out contracts, and Jared Goff is up next. And trust me, his is going to be bigger than both of theirs. So good for him. AJ Brown also got an extension too. His was I don't think he was actually on the last year of his deal. I think they just added it to the end of it to give him more security. 3 years, $96 million, $84 million guaranteed. I actually kind of was a little surprised, I'll say, that AJ Brown's didn't immediately top Amon St. Brown's. I don't know. It's close between who I actually think is better between them. I really do think it's close. But just the fact that he just got it made me feel like AJ Brown's was going to be like $121 million, just like $1 million more, just to make him that next highest paid. But I don't know, worked out pretty well for the Eagles, in my opinion. There, and the Eagles also signed Mekhi Becton to be their swing tackle. 1 year, $5.5 million. Former first-round pick from the Jets. Really hasn't panned out up to this point. Did have a good rookie year. But ever since then, it just kind of went downhill for him there. But I do think that's a solid signing for the Eagles there. They're just loading back up like they do every single year. And then the last new deal, Andy Reid and Brett Veach. They don't report the head coach GM numbers a lot of the time. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But I can tell you this. They probably got whatever the fuck they wanted, okay? Because – that's the easiest re-sign you could make as an owner. Yeah, do I want Andy Reid to stay here? Yeah, I think so. I think I do. So, yeah, who knows what they got, but I'm sure it was a shit ton. And then that's close to everything. Just a couple other things here. Reggie Bush got his Heisman back. And you know what's interesting? You know who is the man leading the way on this initiative? First of all, the NCAA, they are the biggest fucking assholes, okay? They are evil people. Like, I'm not lying to you. Like, anytime you hear an NCAA story, it's like they're – and I'm not even talking about this one. Like, this was kind of messed up to take his Heisman away, especially after, like, NIL and all that shit. But they do way worse shit than this, okay? The eligibility shit that they do, the way that they pick favorites on people, it's just ridiculous. But who led the way for him getting his Heisman back, interestingly enough, is Johnny Manziel. He was very vocal about it on Twitter. And he said, I'm not even going to the Heisman stuff anymore until Reggie Bush gets his Heisman back. And somehow, some way, months later, Reggie Bush gets his Heisman back. I don't know if that was just like coincidental that he posted that or if that like really rallied the troops and then that was what happened. But hey, good for Reggie Bush here, man. I mean, it's got to be really disappointing to have a Heisman trophy and then they call you and they're like, buddy, you need to return that right now.
Hey, we want that.
You know what's the crazy part? He fucking did it. Like, I would like maybe there's like some legal ramifications that they can do if you don't return it. But I'll tell you right now, I'm calling my lawyer to figure it out. And if there's nothing they can do about it, I'm gonna tell you to lick my fucking balls. And I'm not bringing the trophy back. Yeah, no, we are not doing any Indian giving over here, okay? That is ridiculous. But Reggie finally gets it back, so congratulations, Reggie, because that is – Jesus, I can only imagine giving the disappointment you must have had returning that. Just imagine the car ride. You got it in there. You worked so hard. That was the greatest thing you ever achieved. and then you just got to bring it back. Like, are you fucking shitting me right now? I'd be so pissed. God, man.
You handed it away like, I don't even like the stupid trophy.
Dude, you probably showed it off at every single party you had at your house ever. It's like, yeah, that's it right there. But no, just crazy. All right, just a couple more things here. The Guardian helmets obviously is something the NFL has instituted in training camp. It's supposed to help protect your head even more. Now the NFL has approved for players to wear them in games if they would like to. So with that, I ask this: how many players do you expect to see this season wearing the Guardian helmets in the games?
Dude, man, this is hard because like think about it, it's like a locker room, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like we served and like we know what it's like that, you know, like that brotherhood and like, you know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
To have everyone all the peer pressure and shit. Like I can't see anybody doing it, dude.
Yes, let's go. That's what I was gonna say. 0.
Yeah,
dude, the amount of peer pressure to not wear these is gonna be insane. People hate how they look. People have already been complaining about wearing them in training camp. There's not one person that I believe will agree to wear this during the game. All of them are gonna think it's stupid, that it doesn't help at all. And pretty much every single person is going to say no, and it's just going to be a pointless talking point. So
I think it'd be hilarious if the players used it as like a punishment for that week. Like you have the one guy on the whole team who has to wear one. That would be hilarious, dude.
They institute it as like a punishment.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, that would be funny. All right, one last thing for today. A little bit of a sad note, depending on who you are. But Tank Dell was shot in a Florida nightclub. Now, I don't think that this guy was a Jaguars fan that shot him. I'm pretty sure he was just a random innocent bystander because there was like 10 people that got shot. Listen, we got to stop doing things like this. But I will say that when I read the report, I was just a little bit disappointed to read that he's probably not going to miss any time whatsoever. Okay, look, I'm not wishing nothing crazy bad on Tank Dell, but listen, it's hard out here. Okay, we got CJ Stroud in this division now, and if you're telling me that I have a choice between playing against Tank Dell and not playing against Tank Dell, give me not playing against Tank Dell all day, every day. It's sad that this is what it had to take, but yeah, I mean, disappointing that he got shot, but also just as disappointing that he's not going to miss any time. So
you were looking for the full Brian Robinson, weren't you?
I mean, Brian Robinson barely missed any time either.
He went on the IR. He missed the first 4 weeks.
Yeah, I was just hoping for like a little recovery time. Maybe he's not like quite the same at first, and it takes him a little bit, you know, because it's tough. It's tough out here as a Jags fan.
You scared of this man?
I'm scared of the Texans.
This man Tank be in your head.
It's not Tank. It's the Texans altogether. Like,
yeah, they look nasty on paper now, dude. Like
I know, but you know what I'm hoping? I'm really hoping that CJ Stroud has like a real like drop off next year, because now this is going to sound stupid probably, but he's been real focused on media stuff. Like he's been doing a lot of stuff with Micah Parsons. Like they watched like the whole draft together, I think, on Bleacher Report. And they commented on like every single thing. And I just feel like he spent a lot of time doing not football things. So I'm hoping that like that will help them, like, I don't know, help them like stay off focus or something, like, because it just seems like he has an opinion on every fucking thing. And like, hey, go ahead, talk it out, buddy. But yeah, listen, in all seriousness, I hope you get better, Tank Dell. But if you have to miss some time, like, dude, you have to miss some time. It's not life or death. It's a game, okay? And don't do anything that you don't feel comfortable doing. And if the Texans are trying to make you do something that you don't feel comfortable doing, Call the league office. Call the NFLPA. Okay? Go snitch, please, because they don't need you. All right, guys. We're going to get out of here. That's it for the show. It's only going to get more boring from here. So thank you to the 4 people that are watching us. We really appreciate it. We're going to catch you next week. So till next time.